Hey, here's some gymnastic stretches that I like to do at home, so hopefully you'll find them helpful. I like to do these to keep myself nice and limber and not hurt myself when I'm exercising. First, we're going to start a butterfly. So try to get your feet to get close to your hips and try to put your chin down to your toes. You generally hold 5 to 8 seconds. Today we'll hold about 5 seconds for each exercise. Next, move your feet out in front, make a diamond, and put your forehead down to your heels and hold 3, 2, 1. Feet apart, try to get your chest to touch the floor. All these exercises are really good to open up your hips and help limit hip injuries. Stagger your feet and try to get your nose to touch one foot in the front. 4, 5, switch. For a lot of people, lower back pain can come from tightness in your hips. So I like to do these things in a butterfly and stretch out my hamstrings to really reduce injury. Also, straighten your front leg and flex your foot off the ground with your opposite hand, like this. And point your toe, grab the outside of your foot, and try to get your nose to touch your knee. For all these stretches, a lot of them are really hard to do all on your own, all the way down, very first time you try them. So that's totally okay. If you can't touch your toes, touch your heel, touch your shin, touch whatever, and just try to pull and do whatever you can to get some of the stretch going. It doesn't have to be perfect, you just have to try. Point your toes, and go down. Okay. Next, we're going to try a pike. Point your toes, touch the sky, and then touch your toes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That one's pretty hard. And flex your feet off the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Point your toes and flex your and go down with an arch back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Touch your toes. Sit down on your knee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Point your toes. Touch the sky. And go down one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good job. Those ones open up your hamstrings. Your hamstrings get really tight. Think about the way your hips line up. Your hamstrings are really tight. You're gonna pull your hips down and hurt your back back here. So if we stretch, release our hamstrings, our back can go into a natural curve, not hurt ourselves as much. So that generally helps reduce a lot of injuries just by stretching your hamstrings and doing those pikes. Next, we're going to do some lunges to help open up the hip flexors. Generally, one foot in front, the other foot back, and try to lean in and push your hip down to the ground. You should feel it in here. You can grab your back foot with your opposite hand too. So I grab my left foot with my right hand, push my hip down. 5, push my hip down again. 2, 3, 4. Good. I like to go up on my toes, stretch out my toes a little bit, get some good extension. I have some scarring on my foot, so it's actually good for me to get that moving. Reduce from staying in the same place all the time. Straighten your front leg and flex your foot. Try to get your chin down on your knee. Like I said, not every stretch people can do, so just go as far as you can and try to hold for 5 to 8 seconds. That'll be pretty good. 6, 7, 8. The next thing that you can do if you're inclined to and you want to try is a full split. If you don't want to, skip this next part and go to the next one. So if you want to try a split, slide your front foot forward, drop your hips down the back, and it's basically a combination of the last 2 things we did. It's the hip stretch and the hamstring stretch. You're just going to try to go down as low as you can go. Get your hands out in front of your foot, behind your hips, above your head, out to the sides. All different places that you're staying in the split for a good 30 seconds or so. It's not going to go down overnight. A lot of people take years to develop a good split, but generally if you work on it and trying hard, it's not the worst thing in the world. And honestly, it really helps reduce hip pain, and it's a fast, easy stretch. And sometimes it looks cool, so pull your back heel to your butt. 7, 8, drop your hip down. 1, stretch. Train your leg with flex your foot. Chin down on your knee. You're gonna slide down. Nice. Hands down front. Hands back behind. To the side. And up. Like I said, split stretch is less important than the actual hip stretch right here. And then the front leg, flexing foot and chin on your knee. You should feel it back here in your hamstrings and right up here in your hip flexors. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to do some straddles. Straddles help us to stretch out our adductors, the things that pull our legs together, and they can get kind of tight on us. So we're going to straddle our feet out in front. We're going to put our chest down on the floor in a pancake. Try to go down as far as you can go. You can't go down all the way. A lot of people just do this. They'll have someone hold their hands and pull them down to a comfortable position that's a little bit farther than you can go on your own, but it's not going to pull a muscle and hurt you. You don't have to go down all the way to become more flexible. You just have to do more than what you did yesterday. That's my general rule of thumb, is just do a little bit more than you used to be able to do. There's a bunch of different stretches and things you can try, and you'll get more flexible. Next thing after that, you can also try a straddle split if you want to. Straddle splits are the same kind of thing, same deal as the other kind of splits we were talking about, front and left leg splits. Generally, a lot of people start out up here, not going down this very far, and then they slowly will go further, and every day kind of just pull at a progressively lower spot. My split can go pretty much down to the ground now, but it took years to get there, and if it takes you a while to get there, it's totally okay. Good things take time. Not holding all of these for the full 5 to 8 seconds because I'm kind of just going through the video to make it easier to see. But in a real full stretch routine, try to hold things for at least 5 to 8 seconds. If you're holding it for a shorter period of time, you can hurt yourself and kind of do quick stretches that might pull a muscle. So generally don't do that. Try to hold things for longer. Next, we're going to do some shoulders. So I'm going to do my right shoulder first. Putting my right arm back, leaning my head back, I'm going to stretch my right shoulder like this. I'm going to stretch the anterior part of my chest and shoulder. That can get tight on some people. It's a good way to open up your shoulder and kind of help improve your posture a little bit too. You can also put both arms back. Walk your butt forward, lean your head back, and stretch both shoulders at the same time. 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Other things for shoulders, stretch them out this way, stretch them out that way. Above your head for triceps. You can also stretch out your hips. A little bit more of the butterfly at the beginning didn't do it for you. I like to cross my foot in the front like this, like a 4, and lean forward and get a good stretch right here. Stretches your piriformis muscle really well. Just clamps down on your sciatic nerve in the back. You get some bad back pain if you don't stretch that muscle well. So if you're starting to have some sciatica, have some pain, generally just try to do this. Try to move forward, stretch it through, and that can help reduce it. Other things I like to do are standing up. And kind of all the things we did in a plank, but just standing up. So hands down flat, one foot over the other foot, down, switch it up. Flex one foot out in front of the other foot, and go down. All these are different ways for us to stretch out our hamstrings to make our hamstrings feel more loose, because they can get pretty tight on us. So we do a bunch of different stretches to help address that issue. And then stretching out your Achilles is just as simple as putting your feet together, keeping your heels flat on the ground, and walking your hands out forward and arching your back. You should feel it in the back of your calves or your Achilles tendon, right where it inserts on your heel. Go up on one foot on top of the other foot like this, and just manipulate it so that it's stretching a little bit. That's most of the gymnastic stretching. It's pretty much just a bunch of hamstrings and quads and hip flexor stretches. Some back of your hip stuff too with the butterflies, and then shoulders at the end. You can always end with a bridge if you want to, just do a fun little kick over, but that's not necessary. That's a quick little gymnastic stretch. Hope you find it helpful. If you don't, sorry, but I hope you did. So try it out. Hope you get more flexible. It can help reduce injuries, and I do it about once every 2 weeks now, a full stretch routine. You don't have to do it every day, but the more frequently you do it, the better you're gonna get. So try it out, do it as frequently as you want, and hopefully it'll help you reduce injury and feel better. Thanks.